Imagine a world where everything you hear just confirms what you already believe. Sounds good, right? But what if that also meant you were missing out on new ideas and perspectives? Today, we're diving into two important concepts: echo chambers and filter bubbles. I'm Mikael, and this is what I learned today. An echo chamber happens when people only hear information that reinforces what they already believe. In this kind of space, opposing viewpoints are either ignored or rejected. Think of a group of friends who always agree on everything and never challenge each other. It might feel good at first, but it also limits their ability to see sides of an issue. Now, studies show around 6 to 8% of people in countries like the UK mostly consume highly biased media, meaning they only engage with information that supports their views. Research from the Pew Research Center found that 17% of US adults rely solely on one news source. Think about that. One. Limiting their exposure to diverse perspectives. Now, a filter bubble, on the other hand, is something created by technology. Social media, search engines use algorithms, automated systems that predict what you'll like based on your past behavior. So if you go on a Google search, as you can see, it remembers the last thing you typed. Or if you go on your Facebook, they know the last friend you looked for. Or if you go on Instagram, they know the last thing you were interested in, so on and so forth. So it keeps a record of what you are interested in. Now, if you watch a lot of space videos, your feed, like I told you before, will probably be filled with more space-related content, while other topics get left out. So you never really learn anything new. It just reinforces what you already like. Unlike echo chambers, filter bubbles aren't always a choice. They happen because platforms prioritize engagement over diversity, right? These platforms want to keep you hooked, keep coming back to the platform to enjoy the things that you like. A 2018 MIT study found that false news spreads 6 times faster than true news on Twitter, largely due to algorithms amplifying engaging content, regardless of accuracy. So if you clicked on something that was not real, fake news, and you believed it, then the algorithm starts producing more of this fake content so that you are constantly engaged. Remember, you are the product, right? They want your eyes on the devices. So let me give you some examples to clarify this point. Maria and fitness content. Maria loves fitness and follows influencers who promote vegan diets, right? Her Instagram feed is full of plant-based recipes and workouts. Well, while this content keeps her motivated, she might miss out on posts about other nutrition approaches, like the benefits of different protein sources or new research on diet diversity. And with that information, Maria will continue following this information without receiving any diverse information on other parts of her diet. And here's another one, David and politics. So David is really into politics and only reads articles from sources that match his beliefs. Now remember, I told you 17% US Americans only use one news source. Over time, his online world turns into an echo chamber. So David, clicking on the same media, on the same group of friends, on the same everything, right? When he comes across now something different that might challenge his perspective, he might feel ignored. He might ignore the information or dismiss it because he's uncomfortable or he thinks it's wrong, right? He essentially has blocked himself or put himself in a bubble, an echo chamber, to dismiss any other narratives. The YouTube algorithm effect. In 2019, Mozilla Foundation study found that YouTube's algorithm can lead users down a rabbit hole. If someone starts watching videos about a political conspiracy theory, they may soon be recommended increasingly extreme content on the topic, reinforcing their views even further. Again, so you go on YouTube, you go on any platform, and you start digging, the algorithm continuously feeds you this information. So you're repeating, right? You're reinforcing your belief system without being challenged. It's only reinforcing what you already know. Now, these examples show how echo chambers and filter bubbles affect the information we see and the way we think. Now, here it comes. Why does it matter? Well, when you only hear one side of a story, it's easy to dismiss or to miss the bigger picture. Example, if someone follows influencers who promote extreme diets, like the case of Maria, they might overlook well-balanced nutrition advice backed by science. So you keep reinforcing the same information, you ignore other information, right? The spread of misinformation. Misinformation spreads easily in filter bubbles, especially during elections or health crisis. During the COVID-19 pandemic, false claims about vaccines circulated widely in certain social media groups. In 2021, a study published in Nature found that people in tightly connected online bubbles were more likely to reject vaccines, contributing to lower vaccination rates in some areas. I remember in 2020, 2021, people said, "Oh no, I'm not taking the vaccine," because what they had heard from their social media and their news. So that could have been a bigger problem, right? Fewer people vaccines means the spread of a virus, so on and so forth. Increased divisions. Echo chambers can make people more polarized, right? Meaning they become more divided and less willing to listen to different perspectives. A 2019 Pew Research survey found that 45% of Democrats and 35% of Republicans in the U.S. would be unhappy if their child married someone from the opposite political party, a sharp increase compared to previous decades. Can you imagine that? Imagine now you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I love you, you love me, but my family rejects our relationship because our different political ideology. That is real polarization when it affects to that level. A real world consequence. In Myanmar, false information spread on Facebook contributed to the violence against Rohingya Muslim minority, highlighting the extreme dangers of unchecked echo chambers. So these people online, they get together, they share the same ideology, they reinforce that ideology, and they attack a minority Muslim community. I mean, that is pretty dangerous. Now, staying in a bubble can also mean missing out on new ideas or chances for growth. That is also a very good idea. I mean, the fact that you stay in your isolation, you'll never learn anything new about different points of view or counterfactuals that can also hurt your way of thinking. Now, I think this is probably the biggest one for me. Weaken critical thinking. When people only hear one side of an argument, they stop questioning the information. Think about that. When you only hear one side, you don't listen to other sides. You can't comprehend understanding what the other sides mean because you've only been reinforced by your bubbles and your filters, right? For example, a good example of this, the flat earthers. The flat earth movement thrives because members exclusively consume content that reinforce their belief, ignoring centuries of scientific research. I mean, when communities start closing and becoming isolated, they break down and they reinforce each other. How can someone believe the earth is flat? Well, if you're constantly being reinforced about this, you're going to believe it more and more. So, how to break free? Diversify your resources and your sources. Read and watch content from different perspectives. Studies show that seeing a variety of options help build a more balanced understanding. If you usually read one news outlet, try checking others, even those with different viewpoints. I personally, I on purpose go to other websites to see what the other side thinks. I think, even though I might not like it or might not understand it, I go there just to hear, to diversify my point of view or to help better understand their point of view. Understand your algorithms. Absolutely. Be aware that social media and search engines are curating your feed based on what you've clicked on before. So be careful. Every time you click on your search engines and your algorithms on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, so on and so forth, understand that that algorithm is feeding you content you want. Have an open conversation. Talk with people who have different views and can help you see issues from another angle. Absolutely. Talk to people you might disagree with. A Yale University study found that respectful discussions can reduce polarization and increase empathy. Absolutely. The more diverse of information you have, the better you can see other things, right? So keep that in mind as you move forward. Here are the 5 key takeaways. Echo chambers keep people surrounded by information that reinforces their beliefs. Filter bubbles happen when algorithms show content based on past behavior. Both can lead to polarization, misinformation, and I can't emphasize this enough, weaker critical thinking. I think the ability to be able to think critically matters when we have so much information, and we can parse, separate information, and ingest the information a lot more healthy. To break free, seek out different perspectives, talk to other people, question what you see online. I have a mantra that I use every time I'm online: this is not real, this is not real, and then I verify, right? I go and check out and I verify, research the information I am fed. And engage in open conversation. Don't dismiss conversations. If they disagree with you, understand why. Why do they disagree with you? Understand why they see it that way. And you can have an open and enjoyable, or not enjoyable conversation, but at least you're talking, right? And I think we need more of that, more conversations about these things. Guys, thank you for listening. I hope you liked the podcast today. I thought it was a very important subject matter to talk about. Remember, different perspectives, they help us grow as individuals and as a society. So, step out of your bubble, stay curious, and keep exploring. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm Mikel, and this is what I learned today. Bye.